Panic!'s fourth album release. It's called Morning Star. Chris, as an artist, what's new for you on this record?
For me, this album is really about new beginnings. After going through some personal loss and issues in my own life, divorce, rebuilding a family as a single parent, it's sort of a chronicle of the last few years of my life. And a lot of the songs were written before COVID, and then you tack COVID onto this, and it's 3 or 4 years worth of sort of life and loss and love and rebuilding. And Morning Star, we got the title from the line in Thoreau's Walden, where he says the sun is but a morning star. Basically, it heightened awareness, new beginnings. That's what this record is to me. It's a new start, and becoming more conscious of community and more important things in life than, say, that were so important in the first half of your life. So it's a very positive, loving record with a lot of sonic adventures, I'd say.
Definitely. Sonic Adventures is a really good way to put it, actually. So track 7, The Greatest of the Americans. What does this song mean to you?
This is a tune. I wrote this during the height of the Trump era, when I sort of noticed that, the Canada and the U.S., the relationship wasn't as strong as it was over the years and throughout history. And I was saddened by that. And so it's just a lament about the state of Canada-U.S. relations. And Henry Lees and Henry's one of my longtime songwriting partners, we hashed this idea of, well, let's draw a parallel between what's going on and, let's say, a couple that, someone from Buffalo and someone from Toronto, the cross-border relationship that's gone south. So we couched it in those terms. Lyrically, that was the story. I guess it's a kind of like a political or international affairs kind of tune on a blues album, which is kind of interesting, I guess. Sonically, this thing went all over the place. I started with some pretty strange chords, and I wanted to try and create something that you would have maybe heard in the late 80s on, say, a Peter Gabriel or Daniel Lanois or Robbie Robertson or Dire Straits, or a late 80s Clapton kind of moody kind of thing. Always been fascinated with that late 80s rock, middle of the road rock radio sound with synth and all those kinds of things. So presented the idea to my producer Derek, and he came up with this incredible beat that is a mixture of electronic and real drums. And you really spent some time crafting that beat, and it just hooks you right in. And then we added a whole bunch of stuff. My partner Allison put down some saxophone.
Wicked sax on that one. So Chris, what's your goal for this album?
What I set out to do on this one was obviously, naturally, as writers do and as artists do, is they're just telling a story about the next chapter in their life. And that's what this album is to me. It's an account of the next chapter. But I wanted to set out and write a cohesive story. These 14 tunes are standalone pieces, but taken together, it's kind of a connected saga. And I wanted to have basically a 14-piece, I don't want to call it a concept album, but it's not unlike, sort of a 1970s approach to sort of, it's a big record. There's no doubt about it. It's got this cohesive thread through it. The themes of community, self-compassion, mindfulness, having taken on meditation practice, my new responsibilities as a single parent, and my own sobriety, which is something that I'm really proud of, and that has been over 3 years now. But, getting to that point was a struggle. And all these things are wrapped up in a really positive sort of vehicle, I think. They're all nice stories, and they're all feel-good sort of human stories. So I wanted to tell just a human story, which is my story. But the goal sort of flipped by the time COVID came around, because all these things are far more relevant now. And all these things were written before COVID. So it's interesting. That's on the sort of, songwriter side. Musically, as a guitar geek and someone who loves to play his guitar, I wanted to push boundaries. And that's why I wanted to work with someone like Derek Downham, who is incredibly, wildly imaginative and creative and mind-blowing in what he can do. And he can play every instrument under the sun, and he has incredible ideas. And I needed someone like that to come in and help me the most out of what I can, bring out more in me. Push boundaries. Respecting the blues, because that's I'm always going to be 1 foot in the blues, and there's a few blues, traditional blues on the record, but really pushing boundaries and not only taking pieces from the past, but looking forward and doing some sort of future-looking experiments like with Trust in Me and whatnot. There's always going to be traditional blues, and you have to be respectful, but it's nice to play in the other sandboxes and create new sort of areas to experiment in as well, while respecting tradition.